You don't know what love is until you learn the meaning of the blues, until you loved a love you had to lose. Oh, you don't
Yana,
know.
welcome in Rother. It's the first time that you're touring Germany and the first time that you're here in Rother.
Yes and yes. First time touring in this territory, and yeah, first time in Rother.
What about the experience of the first shows here in Germany?
Such a good time. I've received such a warm welcome. It's truly been a pleasure being here, and people have been so open to me and my music, and I hope to come back.
You're touring here now with your father, kind of a package in a way. So is it making life a little bit easier?
For sure, it's nice to have him be there for support and advice, and also good to get to spend so much time with my dad.
You've born in New York, grown up in Sweden. How did that happen?
So my mom is Swedish, but my mom and father, they lived together in New York, and that's where they had me. And then with the little baby, I think my mom was homesick, and she missed Sweden and extended family, and so we moved, all of us, to Gothenburg.
But you went back to New York, you studied there at the City College of New York and did your Bachelor in Fine Arts of Jazz Vocal Performance.
I did. Sweden is great. I love Sweden, and I definitely hope to return one day. But in search of music and my expression, and also wanting to spread my wings, I wanted to go back to my roots, to New York, and see what that life would be like.
Mentioning roots, your father is known as a blues musician, your grandfather was a folk musician mainly, so it was in your genes in a way to discover the blues.
It was. I definitely feel like it was almost in my mother's milk. This is the first music that I ever heard. It's the music I've listened the most to since a child. And it's a big part of my expression. But then I needed to go different places too, to find something that was mine, on my own.
And who was responsible for you discovering the jazz?
Who was responsible? Well, the first jazz record I ever received was actually from my father. He gave me a Sarah Vaughan record when I was a teenager. And I really liked it. I didn't love it at the time. I think it was a little too complex for me. I was really into Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey.
And then you did an EP in 2007, I think, Heart Zone, and then was a long gap till you did your first album last year, Not a Minute Too Late. Why this gap? Was it because of the studies?
It was because of the studies. I made this EP and I had a lot of help from Eric, and I got to do a tour with him in the UK. But after that I felt like there were more things that I wanted to do, bigger things I wanted to express, and I felt like I was stuck a little bit. And so I decided it was time to go back to school, and I found this wonderful program at City College. And so I took a little time out to go a little deeper in the music.
Also kind of musical education in New York. There's a lot of music going on, not only in the concert halls or studios, but also in the underground and everywhere.
Everywhere. There is music wherever you turn in New York. If you go out to a restaurant, most likely you'll hear some music. There's a live jazz trio maybe. If you're waiting for the subway, there's a guy playing the guitar, perhaps singing, saxophone player in another corner. There's music all the way around. It's a very vibrant, energetic city. Definitely gives a lot.
What makes you cry says more than what makes you mad. And what makes you mad says more than what makes you glad. Bear it all for me, I'll bear it all for you. Let's be exhibitionists for a day. Let it hang, let it show who we are. Bear it all for me, I'll bear it all for you. You can be all you need to be when you're with me. All your flaws are welcome when you're with me, sweet. Your imperfections are what makes you unique. So
You did your first album, which is a mixture of blues, jazz, a little bit of pop, a little bit of everything in a way. And you told me that you're already working on the second album.
I am. I have so many influences, so with the first one it was hard to really choose, so I did what spoke to me and what came naturally, and I look forward to continuing that on my next record, but perhaps blending them a little bit more, blurring the lines.
Also blending own songs and cover songs, or your interpretation of standards?
Yes, definitely a few standards. There's such a rich culture and a big library of music that deserves to be heard and reinterpreted. They stand the test of time, those standards. So I'll definitely pick a few. But then I'm writing and I have thoughts and emotions to express.
Emotions to express, Martin, that's what is very important to you. And I guess your how do you say, role models or idols were those jazz singers, female jazz singers, with a lot of expression and emotion.
Yes, I was spellbound listening to them sing and really tell a story that could make you happy, hopeful, sad, bring up memories. It's an art, and it's an art that I'm really trying to get a hold of myself.
In New York, you've got your own trio. Here in Europe, you're touring with a pianist, with Alessandro Fadini. I think it's a challenge, a different thing than performing with a trio.
It is different. It definitely makes it a little bit more intimate, a little bit more naked. It's the two of us. It becomes a different dynamic. But it's great. It leaves a lot of space for expression. But it's good to switch it up. We're playing in Paris tomorrow, and then we're going to be in a full band.
On this tour, you're doing your set, your father is doing his set, and then you're coming back together. What kind of feeling is it, standing on stage, singing with him?
It's a great feeling. He gives so much on stage, and it's something I think you can feel in the audience, but it's also something that I feel on stage. He gives something that inspires me to connect further, and it's a cool thing to get to perform with your father.
Just a bad time, thought I was lost, my dungeon was shook, and my chains dropped off. All my sins been taken away, taken away.
Now